Welcome back to the Reckless Wrench Garage. Today, I'm going to do a quick review of the 911 Motorsports 4-point jack adapter and show you guys how this awesome tool can make your lives a little bit easier in the garage. So here at the Reckless Wrench Garage, we are all about tools that make our jobs in the garage easier, whether it be physically or technically. And this 911 Motorsports jack adapter definitely helps in the physical ease department. So this thing is great. It has a base that you could bolt onto either a floor jack or a transmission jack, and I opted for the transmission jack just for a little bit wider base for the types of tasks that we're planning on doing with it. I've had this jack adapter for about 6 months now, and as with any Reckless Wrench Garage review, we want to actually use it and put it through its paces before we ever recommend a product to anyone. Full disclosure, I did pay my own money for this jack adapter. Casey at 911 Motorsports did give me a little bit of a discount on it, but again, I am only going to tell you guys the truth and what I actually think about it, and I have to say this thing has been awesome. It has helped tremendously around the garage. We've used it for multiple projects. The first thing we used it for was after we broke the axle out from underneath the Suburban, carting that Dana 70 HD from the garage to Chris's side yard. We just threw it on this and wheeled it around, and it was great. It definitely saved our backs. It helped making it easier to maneuver that heavy axle. It did take us a little bit to kind of learn the best way to position it on here, and we had to use some straps and whatnot to get it fully secured, but that made it great. And then especially once we put it underneath the truck, having the axle on this stand so we could just maneuver it around and get the links positioned right, perfect. The next thing I used it for, which was like kind of the intentional plan, was when I had to drop the fuel cell out of the Ranger prior to us going up to Moab. I don't know if you guys have ever dropped a tank full of fuel before. It is extremely difficult, and with this adapter I was able to just line all 4 points of this up underneath the fuel cell, put a strap around it, and then drop it down, and that had like 20 gallons of gas in it, and it was effortless. I did it by myself. It was great. So in one of our most recent videos you guys watched, I pulled the rear end out on the Ranger. This thing was awesome for helping do that. You know, I set the width and the height on the main stands, and then put this right underneath the pinion, and it's adjustable. You just move this nut up or down to get exactly where you want it to go, and then disconnect the links and pulled it right out, and that was awesome. And again, repositioning it underneath the truck, getting the links lined up right, it was perfect just having it on this stands where I could, you know, make slight adjustments to get the axle where I wanted it to go. And it's a lot easier using this rather than fighting with you know, an axle with tires on it, or trying to have two people move it around on jack stands. This has been phenomenal. These are fully adjustable for width, and you could flip this piece over to where you would have a higher standoff if you needed to lift up a little bit higher initially. Nice threading on these, so you could adjust those. Tons of adjustment on the stanchions, and you can flip them around sideways too, depending on whatever you're trying to lift. Overall, this product has been great. I really can't say anything bad about it at all. The one thing I did learn, my transmission jack that I'm using is from Harbor Freight. It's a Chinese piece of junk. Put it on a quality jack if you guys get one of these. Some of these adjusters are getting a little worn out, so that's kind of what it's a little wobbly. It's none of this jack adapter. It's all in the jack that you're attaching it to. So that's my only kind of negative critique, and it's not even on this. It's just on my setup itself that, you know, I wish my jack was a little bit better, a little bit nicer, and I might pick up a new one someday, but hey, it is what it is. One thing I really like about this is how compact it can be. So this is with it all kind of folded up here, so you could slide it underneath a workbench. You loosen this screw and then slide it out, and it expands like that. So it's great for portability and storage. And, you know, these are adjustable as well, so you could change them. You could take one of these off if you only need to have one on there. So I gotta give props. I always love buying from American-made companies and companies in America. You know, it's just one guy, Casey at 911 Motorsports, is running this operation, and they have a lot of trick tools. This is only one of them. I have some other things that we want to do video reviews on as well, but we're doing this one first because this has had a huge impact in the garage for us. And if any of you guys out there are like us, where we do jobs by ourselves or jobs moving really heavy items around, definitely look into picking one of these up. They're affordable, and it'll probably save you some medical bills by not throwing out your back. So I definitely recommend them. Well, that's it for this episode of the Reckless Wrench Garage. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button. It helps us out a lot. And if it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got some other stuff cooking on the back burners here that we're making videos of soon. So make sure you guys stick around. And until next time, stay reckless.